You're listening to the Out of Bounds Show podcast, presented by Independent Roofing Systems. If you want it done right the first time, visit Independent Roofing Systems today.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
Are you ready? Yes!
Now live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the BankPlus Studio.
Listening to
Mississippi's #1 sports talk show, The Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming worldwide live on the Out of Bounds radio app and on your radio at ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
All right, we'll have John Cohen at 8:30, MSU AD. Before that at 8:15, Lee Sterling. ParamountSports.com, handicapper to the gods. We'll have blowout special, wrong team favored, lock of the week. Yeah. Our guests will join us on the Bell's Two-Hearted Ale guest line. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone ESPN. Brought to you by the Bone-In Ribeye at Kessler Prime and the Renaissance. KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. You can hit us up on the Farm Bureau Insurance call-in line. 601-707-3750. Twitter handle at BoBounds. And your Ag Up Equipment text line is 601-885-3776. AgUp.com, John Deere, America's Tractor. Shoot us a text, 601-885-3776. Some of you on the text line do want me to send a picture of the national championship MSU baseball national championship trophy to John Daly, who is a rabid Arkansas Razorback. And did he? I guess he went to Arkansas. Surely before he went to the Will you look that up for me? Evidently, we didn't fire Will. He showed up. So Will's in the house, and that's a good thing. And we're going to get a little work from him today. He may not be an alum, but he may have gone there for a couple of years. And you remember when we asked him where his son was going to go, and it was between Arkansas, North Carolina, and one other school as far as playing college golf? You remember that, Blake, when we had him on?
Yes. Yeah. He did attend Arkansas, played golf there for 4 years. Of course, he had
Pig Suey, baby.
This is literally how they define this. I did not make this up. This is from the Wikipedias. It says his golf team coaches were Steve Loy and Bill Woodley, and Daly had tempestuous relationships with both, due mostly to his drinking problems and infrequent class attendance.
Are you telling me he wasn't a star teammate / student?
Incredible.
Yeah. That guy's had, he's been the way he is for a long time.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's authentic is
and
what you're
been able to pull it off. His diet is McDonald's. This is incredible. He doesn't drink water, which what? And so his diet is McDonald's cheeseburgers and vodka. And there's Diet Coke.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, well, yeah. Good Lord.
Oh, man.
That guy is a walking science experiment.
He's a legend.
Yeah, he is.
He lives in a bus and just exists between Hooters restaurants. That's all it is.
And gets to play great golf courses.
Yeah, still to this day. It's incredible.
You would think that there would be some more. I know he went through a bunch of endorsements and then he went without them. Usually they kick back in. There's all kinds of
he has
a bacon,
yeah,
breezy. Somebody that was big, tires.
The only thing I know he does beer. For sure is he has he's a part owner, so this is why he's a sponsor. A golf apparel company. They've got some that because of
all
his
the crazy stuff.
So
that he wears.
that's what they sell. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a John Daly inspired.
Well, sure, he's got his own brand merch line.
Yeah, so that's all. That's the only one I know of that he's even affiliated.
But he had
with.
a bunch of. Remember, didn't he have 84 Lumber? Like, that was perfect for him.
Probably. That makes sense.
Right? I mean, what a monster company.
Like, he at least in Arkansas, he should be still endorsing some, like, local
Tyson?
Arkansas restaurants. Yeah. Yeah, like, whoever the biggest barbecue restaurant is in Arkansas, John Daly should be a vocal spokesman for that company, right? Like, that's the type of thing I expect John Daly to be a part of. Yes.
For sure.
Yes. Like an Ace Hardware type place. Yeah, that type of place.
What if he'll come back and do some of those type things?
Well, he has cancer.
Oh, God.
So his health has been up and down a lot the last few years.
I did not.
Yeah.
When was he diagnosed?
I'm pretty sure he had it prior to when he did that event. It just wasn't public.
Somebody on the text line said Yellowwood. That would be perfect for him.
That'd be perfect.
That's owned by an Auburn alum. Of course, they do a ton of stuff with the SEC and others. 84 Lumber, Yellowwood, right up, John Daly.
I feel like
John Daly's out. I hope he's okay, by the way.
I feel like he should have a beer sponsorship, but it should be like a low-end beer.
Okay.
Like something it's not craft beer. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
it's not Bell's Two Hearted Ale?
No, like Busch Light or something like that. Natty. It's mostly, he's like, I'm John Daly. I don't drink water, but when I do, I drink Natty Light.
Good grief.
When I need a water,
I get a cold beer.
I get a Natty Light. It's mostly water.
The fact that you think this is so funny, it makes it funny.
We literally got 3 Natty Light text messages as I was reading that. That's hilarious.
Golly. All right. Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Did you see where PETA, yesterday or the day before, they thought that Major League Baseball should rename Bullpen to more animal-friendly Arm Barn?
I'm 1,000% behind calling it the Arm Barn. I have PETA's an idiot organization, but Arm Barn is an incredible name. Are you kidding?
Because it's so bad?
Yeah. Like, hey, Landon, head on down to the Arm Barn. I need you to get loose for the 8th inning. Can I get Parker Caracci out of the Arm Barn?
PETA decided that they needed that the name Bullpen was offensive.
Because it apparently refers to the area where bulls are kept prior to going to a slaughterhouse.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't know that. I never in a million years would have thought.
Neither did anybody else.
No.
This is the kind of nonsense.
Yeah, I've never thought about
we're in right now.
Where Bullpen came from, because they call at a police station or at a investment firm, the area where all the cubicles are is called the Bullpen.
Okay.
So it's the same. I mean, I didn't know that came from.
Yeah, like an architecture firm that has a bunch of people in the middle.
All the low guys, not partners, like the entry level, the associates, right? Well, I mean, it's true. Like all the officers at a police station that are in their generic cubicle, not the corners, right? It's called the Bullpen.
Okay.
I didn't know that was an animal thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears.
Arm Barn.
There are rumors, and who knows how accurate this is, but we like coaching search rumors, that Lincoln Riley is number 1 on the list for LSU, Billy Napier 2, and Lane Kiffin 3. If that's the case, then they won't get to Lane. So Ole Miss will be on that job. Ole Miss will be safe. Now there could be some other jobs come open where they may not be, but if it is Lincoln Riley 1, for our listeners, Lincoln Riley is the coach at Oklahoma. Billy Napier 2, coach at ULL, and Kiffin 3, then it will not get to Kiffin. Right?
How much do you believe that? How good do you feel about that?
I don't know if I feel good about any coaching search rumor lists.
Right.
You know?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
How would you rank if you knew those were the top 3 candidates? What order would you rank them in? If you were making the hire.
I like that order.
Riley, Napier, Kiffin.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But Kiffin has come he's such a better coach than he was 10 years ago. You know?
No doubt.
1, growing up, but 2, just going through some things. I honestly, Blake, when you look at that list, I don't think you can go wrong at LSU. Lincoln Riley, Billy Napier, Lane Kiffin.
You know who's not on that list?
Mel Tucker?
Or Dave Aranda.
Yeah. All right. Hey, you know what, Blake? If you talk to enough people, you can hear what you want. We're live in the BankPlus Studio. The Out of Bounds Show is powered by Superior Foundation for all your foundation repairs. And Went McGee, the Mortgage Man. MortgageManMS.com. Straight ahead, Lee Sterling, handicapper to the gods. We'll be back in a second. You can order award-winning Jonesy Q rubs and sauces at jonesyq.com. Use promo code OOBSHOW if you order $20 or more and receive free shipping. That's jonesyq.com. Promo code OOBSHOW.
They're about to be turned off. You know what you need. Because you got to somehow make that paper, right?
Right. Show me the money!
You come to the right place for that. Because it's time for Bo Bounds to...
Show me the money!
To show you the...
All right, big weekend for ParamountSports.com. Lee will be releasing a 40 to 50 unit max play in college football for Saturday, which is the first of that nature in over a month. And it will be included in the 10-day 5-sport package that is available until Saturday at noon Eastern, which will be 11 a.m. our time. Lee is a documented 53-20. 53-20 lifetime on 40 to 50 unit plays. ParamountSports.com. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone ESPN. We welcome in Lee Sterling. Good morning, Lee. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I can't complain. I mean, another crazy Thursday. I mean, last Thursday, Colorado State can't decide. They couldn't figure out that they could just spike the ball and get their field goal unit on the field. And now we have a game decided by a receiver. Didn't even realize it was a pass play.
I know Blake was not happy about that this morning, by the way.
Well, I didn't stay up to at that point. I'm like, I had actually I had a teaser and I needed him just to win the game. I'm like, I'm done. Did they give any explanation to why A.J. Green thought it was a right play?
No, they did not. According to Blake, stayed up and watched it. So, no. That's, yeah, exactly. Lee's like,
my daughter did. My daughter, she did have one great line. She goes, Cliff Kingsbury might be able to date supermodels, but he's never going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's pretty good. All right, we've got to start with before we jump into what all's going on at ParamountSports.com this weekend. I've got to start in with wrong team favored. Who's the wrong team favored this weekend, Lee?
Wrong team favored. We're going to look at the Kentucky and State game, and last year's that game was painful to watch. And I'm not even a State fan. I mean,
yes,
you knew it was over by halftime. Am I right?
Yes.
They don't want to mix it up with KU's defensive front. I expect them to pass early and often, just like last year. Maybe not as many as 70 times, but Will Rogers is a different quarterback this year. I mean, this kid's only thrown 3 interceptions. He is a tough kid. The hits that he took in that Alabama game, and to keep getting up, I got a lot of confidence in him here. He's thrown for 73% completion percentage this year. I think we're going to see the home side with a good dose of revenge. I think they serve it up here, and the host also 7-0 against the spread in the series. Make it 8-0. I like State here, 25-20, but please, no Mike Leach interviews after the game discussing what Halloween candy he likes.
I'm with you on that. I'm good with that. I've had my fill there. Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com. Before we get into Blowout Special, Lee is going to share with us everything that's going on this weekend. Lee?
Yeah, I mean, great time. And we came up with a promotion last week. We were here till after midnight. I finished my shows by 8 in the evening, and the phone calls kept coming, and people love it. It's all 5 sports, all my football, college and pro. You get baseball World Series. We're undefeated, 2-0 in the World Series. NBA, I'm out to a 9-1 start in the NBA. The only loss I had was an overtime loss, or else we're 10-0. Hockey, which we were number 1 in the world, like baseball, and also basketball and football. And then the UFC, there's a card tomorrow that starts at 9:30 in the morning your time, and also next week. So you're going to get all 5 sports for the next 10 days. That's like 60, 65 selections for a hundo. $100 bill. This would normally sell for probably like $800 for the 10 days. So this way you can sample all 5 sports. You decide after that which sport you want to check out and sign up with us. So just go to ParamountSports.com. I think you also like the main video. Got a Halloween motif behind me on the main video, and check out some other games. There's some other games we discussed that are huge games. I mean, we're talking about Michigan State.
Oh, yeah.
Ohio State's taking on Penn State. Undefeated SMU in Houston. Check out those videos. They're only about a minute and a half, 2 minutes in length. ParamountSports.com.
ParamountSports.com. Plus, you'll have 40 to 50 unit play tomorrow, right?
That's it. Found a game. You're going to have trouble finding it on TV. I think it's on a smaller station. You got to make sure you got you're not going to find it on like ESPN or ESPN2. But great matchup. We're one team favored by less than a touchdown. I think they win by 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Okay. Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com. Blowout special, Lee. What do you have?
Okay. Blowout special is going to be the Georgia-Florida game. And the last loss Georgia had was to Florida. They were up by a couple touchdowns, and then Kyle Trask caught on fire. And people forget that Georgia was missing 3 key starters for that game here. So I just don't see Florida with the same balance this year. They've already been intercepted 12 times. And I have a feeling J.T. Daniels is going to return for this game. And if he does, they can push the ball down the field. And Georgia really good as a road favorite, 25-7 in that role. Payback is a you-know-what. No Kyle Trask here, no shot. Georgia, 38-17.
Oh, all right. Yep. Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com. Lee, I think this one could be the game of the weekend. Ole Miss at Auburn. I mean, close. I love the matchup. Could go back and forth all night. How do you see it?
Yeah, so this is my lock game here. Road team covered 7 straight in the series. Bo Nix has been better. Still, back, I think most people's minds, he's still Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. He could have a game where he just starts throwing a couple interceptions and needs to get pulled here, so that could happen. I just think you know what you're getting with Matt Corral. Only 1 interception on the year. They're ranked 2nd to 7th in almost every major statistical category, like running, scoring, total offense. I just think Auburn is just stuck in just being a little above average here. I think Ole Miss just going to make plays here when you have to, and that's the difference here. Auburn's receivers just can't get any separation or make that catch or get the right call from the offensive coordinator when they need to. Give me Ole Miss, lock of the week, 38-34.
38-34, Ole Miss over Auburn. Now, Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com, they will be releasing a 40 to 50 unit max play tomorrow. All right, he's a documented 53-20 lifetime, which is incredible, on 40 to 50 unit plays. Lee's found a game. It's kind of off the grid, which I think is cool, and I like that. And so ParamountSports.com, and they're also doing the 10-day 5-sport package, which is available until 11 a.m. tomorrow for us.
That's it.
Noon
That's
Central
it.
Time. I mean, Eastern Time.
It'll never be available the rest of the year. So that's the way people can sample me and check out all 5 sports, and then after that time they decide which 2, 3, 4 sports they want to roll with.
And the game of the week, Saints hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Lee.
Yeah, this is a good one here. We're going to find out if Tampa Bay without AB can keep rolling. Can New Orleans build off that road win at Seattle? You want to get it? It's up and available right now. Just call 800-400-9741. And like I said, check out the website. So much going on there. Got free pick videos you can check out. Everything's up and available to purchase. ParamountSports.com.
I love the pumpkins on the website, Lee.
Yeah, we have fun here. I mean, you dress up and give out some good candy, Bo?
I don't.
You don't?
Well, I mean, I'll give out candy, but I don't dress up.
Oh,
I'm just a sports talker.
Quasimodo this year.
Who are you?
Quasimodo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lee Sterling, we appreciate it, buddy. Be good.
Okay. See you, Bo.
All right. ParamountSports.com. He's releasing a 40 to 50 unit max play in college. Hasn't done it in over a month, and he's a documented 53-20 lifetime on 40 to 50 unit plays. The show is brought to you by Live Oaks Golf Club. Live Oaks Golf Club and Roosevelt's, their awesome restaurant. That's where you can grab that Philly cheesesteak sandwich or a delicious cheeseburger at Roosevelt's and Live Oaks Golf Club. That's liveoaksgc.com, liveoaksgc.com. John Cohen coming up next, MSU AD.
The Out of Bounds Show podcast is brought to you by Kessler Prime. For the best steaks in Mississippi, visit Kessler Prime in the Renaissance.
Check it out. This is the SEC Insider Hit. It's driven by the John Deere tractors at Mississippi Ag. Visit agup.com to find a retail location near you.
Let's go.
All right, the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Your SEC Insider Hit this hour is brought to you by the pre-owned and new Ram trucks at Mac Hike in Flowood. Visit MacHikeFlowood.com. Mac Hike in Flowood, just down the street from RPT and Rick's Pro Truck. We want to welcome in John Cohen, Athletic Director at MSU. John joins us on the Modelo guest line. It's a big weekend in Starkville as they've got a monster game to try to get another W towards bowl eligibility. A lot of activities on campus with former players and so on. And, of course, they'll recognize the 2021 MSU National Championship baseball team, I think, in between the first and second quarter tomorrow night. Night games are always special in the SEC. John, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, Bo. How you doing, brother?
Well, I'm doing well. So when was the first – where were you and when was the first time you got to see the national championship ring?
I've just seen pictures of it. I haven't seen one in person yet. But, Bo, I love the idea of the ring, and I'm so happy that our kids get to experience it. I'm just not one of those guys who loves – who's big on the ring thing. I'd rather have a picture of the ring in my office, quite frankly, than actually have the ring itself. But I do know it's special for so many people. And the really cool thing is these types of rings will get handed down from generation to generation. It'll be there forever. And, it symbolizes greatness. And I'm going to have the honor of speaking to our kids as they get their rings on Saturday. And, I'm really looking forward to that opportunity.
Will that be before the game?
Yeah, that'll be before the game at noon, kind of in a private ceremony.
Okay.
With the kids and their parents.
And so how did that work? Were y'all able to get – I know the major leaguers are now – they're able to get back and in between maybe doing some other fall stuff. But, Bednar and all those dudes back in town today, right?
Yeah, I think there's only 2 total guys from the roster who will not be able to make it this weekend, which is incredible. Because, when I played for the great Ron Polk, the last thing he would tell us at our last meeting of the year, and it didn't matter if you were coming home from Omaha or whatever it was, he would say, this might be the last time this group of people will ever be in the same place at the same time. And I tell you, it really usually works out that way. And it's not on purpose. It's just, Bo, how life works.
Sure.
And, it's emotional as it should be for the kids, the support staff, the coaches, the parents, everybody involved.
Is it still somewhat surreal for you?
Yeah, I think, I coached for so long, and it's funny, I had this discussion with Coach Lemonis and his staff all the time. You're so focused on what's going to happen next and how do we get there again and how do we do it again and how do you, bolster this and do this better. And you don't really think about what happened because you don't allow yourself to. Everything's a forward type of thought, not not looking in the rearview mirror. So, yeah, I mean, when people say it out loud, there are times, and I'm sure many people believe this, where you go, wow, did that happen? What are you talking about, national championship? Did we win a national? You know, it's that kind of thought because you kind of move forward in your mind.
Man, there's going to be some serious star power in Starkville this weekend. I mean, good grief. I think it's going to be wild tonight, and then tomorrow's going to be pretty special. So when John Cohen on the Out of Bounds show, MSU AD, you're listening to ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Now, you mentioned you're not a big ring guy. Now, you're obviously getting one, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Are you going to wear it tomorrow?
Fortunate enough to have a list. I don't know if I'll wear it tomorrow. I just, you know, the thing about it is, I'm just not a big jewelry guy, period. You know, I'm not going to wear the necklace or anything like that. So that's just me personally, but I'm really excited for the people who do enjoy that kind of thing.
All right, let's go to Gautreaux and Foxhall. This is interesting. They're both still, on the staff. I mean, Mississippi State just won a national championship. They both had a lot of success. I mean, that 2019 team had a lot of success. Baseball is different. I mean, usually when a team wins a national championship, John, in football, you lose a bunch of dudes. I know it's more guys on staff, but are you surprised that here they are? I mean, these guys are well-known, excellent assistant coaches, have great resumes. I know you're excited. Are you surprised that they're still in Starkville?
Pleasantly surprised, but I will say this. I think there's several factors with this, Bo. Number one, how much do they love working for Mississippi State and working for Chris Lemonis? I think that's a huge factor. The other thing is the level of support, right? So there's some financial responsibilities that we have to keep guys like that in place. And I say that because financially, in some cases, for them to take a head job, is it, financially as good as it is being an assistant at Mississippi State? Those are questions that when you're an assistant coach, I think you have to ask yourself. And I think I've said this many times, Bo, and deservedly so, we have the highest paid staff collectively in the entire country, and we're very proud of that. They've earned that. But there's no doubt in my mind that Foxhall and Gautreaux, and quite frankly, Kyle Cheeseborough, I think all of those guys will be excellent head coaches at some point. And that's part of doing your job as a head coach. If Chris Lemonis is doing his job, which he does an excellent job of,
sure,
those guys are going to get opportunities. And I feel like that's a huge part of the job is to help you not only fulfill the dreams of players moving on, but also with coaches as well.
How, I'll put you on the spot. How close do you think we are to getting a third assistant full-time pay and so on in college baseball?
With everything else that's going on right now, a constitutional convention and name, image, and likeness, and the result of the Alston case that came out, I think some of these things have gotten pushed to the back. Although the constitutional convention, I think, has a chance to really unlock some of the difficulties that Autonomy 5 schools have faced in recent years. So I do believe there's some hope, but I don't think it's something that's staring us right in the face right now, Bo.
Okay. All right. John Cohen on the Out of Bounds show, MSU AD. John, we were talking earlier. We had John Daly on the show like a year ago, and we've got his cell number. He's a big Arkansas Razorback fan. And we had the national championship trophy in studio, and we were kind of debating whether we should send that picture to John Daly, who's a big Arkansas Razorback fan. What do you think?
Well, so I do remember, I can't remember in Sports Illustrated, Bo, but I do remember the picture of John Daly in his pool. I think he had the pool that had the huge Razorback you could see in the bottom of the pool, if I remember it right. What an unbelievable character. I'm a huge fan of his, and that's really cool. Yeah, I think you should show him the national championship trophy.
All right, let's go to the M over S on the football helmet this weekend. It has become an iconic logo because of the success of the Mississippi State baseball program. We found out that we think this is right, that it became the logo, I think, in 1968. You can correct me, for the MSU baseball program. I think it really took off, obviously, late 70s, early 80s, and then with Raffy and Will and Brantley and Thigpen and all that. But as you obviously you're recognizing the team. Is that the only reason why y'all decided to go M over S on the Mississippi State football helmet this weekend?
Yeah, to give a lot of credit to Mike Leach, Coach Leach was all on board with this. He was so excited by the national championship and so supportive of Coach Lamonis and our kids. And he's a huge baseball fan just in general. So he was excited about it. I think his staff was. We ran it by a ton of people, even including, players, because listen, that football game is about our football team competing their tails off against a great Kentucky team. It's not about our baseball team, but the little homage, the little symbol on the helmet, just to say, hey, that's a nod to you guys, and we're going to do this for you. I just think it's tremendous that our football team was willing to take this on. And again, Coach Leach and his staff just so unselfish and giving to others. Really, when you think about it, this is the biggest football game of the year for this team.
Yeah.
And for them to do this, I just think it is a wonderful treat.
All right, so let's stay there. They're hosting Kentucky. It's a winnable ball game. You're right, Kentucky has a good team. This would be big for Leach and the program. They're in the process of growing up. How do you feel about it, where they are right now in this game this weekend?
I've looked a lot at this, Bo, and I think when you really look at the data of where our football program is, the biggest jump we can make is when we get more and more kids who have 20 or more starts in the maroon and white. That, if you look at what Kentucky's done, and you look at the amount of players that they have who have 20 or more starts, hey, on our entire roster right now, Bo, we have 3 kids who have 20 or more starts. And when you break that down, what that means is it's almost 2 years worth of starts and experience. It's the same with all sports. Same with baseball, same with basketball, softball, volleyball, whatever. And by the way, our volleyball team right now is on a terrific run. We're in, second place in the SEC, Bo. And I look at these types of statistics. We're in the top 4 in the league in starts with our volleyball team. We're ranked number 2 in the league. So I really believe that when we get those numbers up, especially when you're talking about offensive and defensive line, that 20 start mark is pivotal. And I think the deeper we get into the season, the better we're going to play. And listen, I still think we can play great football this year, but I really believe we're a year away from being really one of the really, really good teams in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, and one of those guys that is under that 20-start threshold is Will Rogers. I mean, we've talked about it, John. Eli Manning, just some guys in this state, right? Eli Manning, Dak, Corral. There's some others, but these are great players that their true sophomore, redshirt freshman year, they weren't ready. And I've said on the show, I just think Will's done a remarkable job. Boy, he's had to gut it out this year. He's proven how tough he is too.
He's a tough kid. He's an intelligent kid. When you watch him practice, Bo, and they go from drill to drill, and let me tell you something, in a Mike Leach practice, boy, they're going from drill to drill, in a hurry. Who's the first guy sprinting across the field to go to the next drill? It's Will Rogers. Will Rogers is glued to Mike Leach. What are we doing next? How do we break this down? What sequence of plays we're going to run? What's the script? I love the kid. And again, you mentioned Corral, who's had a great year, and I'm a big fan of him. I think he's a tremendous player. But where was he 2 years into the process versus where Will is 2 years into the process? And it is indeed, as Nick Saban always says, it is a process. And, when you get to that 20 start mark and beyond, you really have kids who are going to make better decisions. There's not much they haven't experienced, especially in this league after they get to the 20 start mark. And I'm just excited because that number is going to jump in a big way, not only for Will Rogers, but for our entire team next year.
Yeah, a lot of true sophomores playing on the team. And just had to happen. John Cohen, MSU AD, on the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. He joins us on the Modelo guest line. How excited are y'all to host? Y'all are doing a big welcoming and reception, I guess, hosting former players this weekend?
Yes. So, every other year in baseball, we have an alumni weekend. This started with Ron Polk, probably 40 years ago. And we have a huge group coming. They're playing golf today. They're having a dinner tonight. And then, of course, tomorrow there's a tailgate, and they will all be recognized at the football game, every single alumni baseball player. But, again, the national championship team will also be recognized in a separate TV timeout. So I know a lot of my teammates and a lot of my Mississippi State baseball brotherhood will be heading to town if they're not already here.
That's exciting. Okay. John Cohen on the Out of Bounds show and the Modelo guest line. So as far as Leach, fans are not patient. I don't know if you may not know this in your role, but this day and age, John, with Twitter and Sports Talk Radio and the SEC Network and all the games are televised, there's no patience in any fan base, especially in the Southeastern Conference. I know you're still committed to the quote-unquote process and to what Leach is going to do in Starkville, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the great thing about having a coach like Coach Leach is you get to look at a track record. You get to say, here's what has happened in his career. And I think there's no doubt in my mind we're on track to do really special things. Obviously, this year's not over. Until this past weekend, we were one of only two schools in the country that had beaten two ranked opponents. And by the way, who is the worst team in the SEC West right now? And I'm not taking a shot at the East at all, but my goodness, I mean, you put our football team, who's gonna get better and better and better, in any other division in any other league in America. Things could look quite different. And of course, woulda, coulda, shoulda, we're 2 plays away from having 2 more wins as well, even with an incredibly inexperienced football team. So I'm really excited, not only about Coach Leach, but I'm excited about the attitude of this football team, which is outstanding, and a staff that has really stayed in place because of their belief in Mike Leach. The entire staff has stayed in place. I'm not sure that has happened at Mississippi State in the last 10 years.
That's a good point. All right, let's switch gears. World Series. Who are you so you've got Graveman, who was you coached, Kendall Graveman, who's been playing pitching and playing great baseball for the Houston Astros. I may be missing some others. You've got Austin Riley, who you recruited and signed, and he went to Major League Baseball out of high school, out of DeSoto County. So who are you rooting for? Are you for the Braves or the Astros?
It's so hard. I root for the kids. Like every time Austin Riley steps the plate, man, I want him to hit a line drive somewhere. And every time Kendall's pitching, of course, I want him to be successful. It becomes really hard when those guys are facing each other. But, the Riley family is just unbelievable people, related to, the James family, right? And we've had 2 baseball players, in our program, both the James boys. So,
That's pretty cool.
It's Mississippi State royalty. And even though Austin did not play for us, he's part of this family. So, yeah, just cheering for both those guys. I'm so proud of Kendall. I mean, just listening to his comments on social media, he has all of his priorities in the right place, as does Austin. And I just want the best for both those guys.
Did you ever see Kendall doing this at this level? when he was at Mississippi State?
You know, the one thing about Kendall that I have learned in our relationship is don't ever doubt Kendall Graveman. He's coming out of this place at 88, 92. He's a sinker ball guy, really without a breaking ball. And you're going, gosh, at age 21, 22, 23, can he develop a breaking ball? Don't doubt him because, yeah, he did. Is he going to throw? You think he's going to throw 95, 97? Yeah, if you're working him, in one inning and he's no longer a starter and you're going to tell him to sprint for 15 to 20 pitches, you better believe it. That guy can go get you 98 now. I just don't doubt the kid because he's a man now. Don't doubt him because he's going to prove everybody wrong if you doubt him.
I think this is going to be an unbelievable series. We'll see what happens in Atlanta this weekend. John Cohen, MSU AD on the Out of Bounds Show. John, thanks for your time today. We appreciate it.
You got it, brother. Have a good one, Bo.
John Cohen joining us on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Don't forget that Mississippi State football will be on 105.9 The Zone tomorrow. And obviously that's a 6 o'clock kick. Pregame starts at 4. MSU football on 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. If you're out and about this weekend, you can listen to it right here on the dial. We'll be streaming it too. And want to let you know that MRA football will play on 105.9 The Zone, ESPN tonight. And they will play Hartfield. And winner is the number 1 seed in the playoffs. So winner of tonight's game between MRA and Hartfield at MRA is the number 1 seed in the playoffs. Two schools that have obviously experienced a lot of growth. MRA, Hartfield tonight, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Pregame 6:30, game 7 o'clock. Blake?
What's up, boss?
Well, I thought that was a good interview.
I did too. I think it's
covered some ground.
Interesting thoughts on a couple different things. I got to be honest with you. I've never coached a college baseball game. John's had a couple. But it was a little surprising that he wasn't as gung-ho about the championship ring as I thought he might be. I get that he's not. I get not being a jewelry guy, but that's the pinnacle of your career, right?
Yeah, that may change once he sees it.
Fair enough. It's gorgeous. And the process, I just read an article about before the show, the process of how they came up with designing it. Do you know that the sales rep for Belfour, I don't know how you say that name.
Balfour, I think.
Balfour, yeah. The championship, they obviously they do a lot of high school class rings and college class rings and stuff like that. Well, he is a Mississippi State alum, actually, which is surprising.
I think I do.
So he had a hand in designing this ring, as well as Coach Lamonis, and then there's a marketing person, Allie Meese, who designed the national championship logo that you've seen everywhere.
Yeah,
was also part of designing the ring. It's interesting the thought and the things that they did to go into. I
think I met her parents a few weeks ago.
Yeah, well, the work that went into and the thought that went into designing this ring, because it's the first one in any sport. That's a big deal for any university.
What about? I need to know the name of the sales rep.
I can tell you.
Okay, I think I know who it is. Is it Wesley? We'll see. Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, brought to you by the New York-style pizza at Sal and Mookie's. Don't forget that Sal and Mookie's is open for lunch in Madison Tuesday through Sunday, and Tuesday through Friday they have great pizza specials by the slice. And then you marry it with a half a Caesar. It's quick, it's easy. For the working dude, in and out. Sal and Mookie's Pizza in Madison between Kroger and Home Depot. Sal and Mookie's in Madison. And they have the one in the Eastover District, too. Their wings are great, too. Those are unbelievable for any time but game day wings. Out of Bounds, live in the BankPlus Studio. BankPlus, it's more than a name. It is a promise. Hour number 3 coming up on a Football Friday.